Hello, my name is Stephanie. I am with the Hub team for Vineyard Canada. We are super excited about a couple of gatherings that we're planning for this coming fall. So without further ado, here are David and Anita, our wonderful national directors, to tell you a little more about the gatherings.
The Metanoia events are back by popular demand again this year, and we're going to do something a little bit different because the feedback has been so great. We're getting more requests from people that want to show up at the event, and so we're going to do two. The last couple of years, we've just done one, and we're going to go east and west. In the east, we're going to be hosted by the Ottawa vineyards in that part of the country. We have a brand new church plant that's just kicked off at the beginning of this year, and they've had a property gifted to them. It's a crazy story that you got to hear it sometime, but it's going to be a great space to gather for the Metanoia event. And the Ottawa Valley Vineyard, which is our more established community there, the two communities are going to be helping us host. We're also going to go out west, and we're going to be in Langley, British Columbia, which is kind of exciting because we're going to be gathering in a space that's one of our oldest gathering places in the whole entire Canadian vineyard context, at the Langley Vineyard. Some of you, that name will spark all kinds of memories and great things, and we're just so excited to have a fresh expression of what's happening in the vineyard hosted in that space. The BC region out west is combining with the national team to help host this event for us, and hope to see you at one of them.
Some of you may be wondering what we mean by the word metanoia, and that's actually a really good question. The word metanoia is a Greek word for think again or repentance, which speaks of going one direction and actually turning and going a completely different one. And we feel like this is a good descriptor for these events where we call the family together to really wrestle with truth and understanding. We have these wonderful speakers that come in and stretch our capacity to think through who we are and what God is calling us to as a people.
When we gather together, it's as much about who isn't in the room as who actually shows up. In some ways, we really believe these are like stake in the ground. They're steps in our journey together as a family right across the nation. And so we rally around particular themes that we feel are seasonal and things that the Spirit is speaking to us in a fresh way. Dwelling in the Borderlands was last year. The year before that was from moving from silos to integration and wrestling with all that. And the thing the Spirit just keeps highlighting in this season for us as communities and as a community of communities right across from coast to coast is this thing of health begets health. The banner we're flying Metanoia under this year is Health Begets Health, exploring a theology and praxis of wholeness. What it really means to be human, what it means to be called into the likeness and image of Jesus as he invites us forward into everything that he has for us as a people. And we just want to be faithful to that. Another little subtitle on there is Becoming People of Humility, Mercy, and Justice. It's a play, obviously, off Micah 6, verse 8, which some of you might be familiar with, but taking that in a whole, maybe different spin, maybe thinking about it again, if you will, in an entirely different way, where it's about the journey of community. It's the journey of creating a space of hospitality and welcome, and how we really even change some of the trajectories of what we've understood discipleship to be, wholeness to be, sexuality to be, and just what it means to be called into the fullness that God has for us.
We like to think of these gatherings as a holistic experience for our family, where we collectively come together, we eat together, we share together, we wrestle with truths together. Our kids are welcome in the mix. We like to bring in who we are as a people. We're a creative and an expressive people, and we explore those aspects of who we are together.
Each time we gather, we love to bring in a special guest, and that terminology is on purpose. It's not really a special speaker per se, not a plenary session, a facilitator. In fact, it's probably important to say this really isn't a conference in the typical sense of the word. As Anita already said, it's much more of a holistic experience. But we love to invite someone in that can really stretch our thinking, that can give us some deep and robust, engaged teaching, but we want to interact with it. And I'm just delighted to share with you that for both the East and the West, we'll have the same guest, and his name is Jared Boyd. He's been one of the great innovative young leaders in the United States Vineyard family, established and pioneered the first monastery within the Vineyard communities, has established an order of sustainable faith, which is just brilliant, and just calling and inviting people deeper into the journey of what it means to be spiritually whole, and discovering ways to do that. He also is a very significant coach and mentor in regards to spiritual direction. In fact, his name's been popping up from coast to coast. I'm just hearing about him everywhere, both in the East and in the West, and has been doing a lot of training through Winnipeg Center Vineyard, has been working with Sabrina and Wayne McQueen in Ontario. He's been connected with Gordy and Kathleen Legore on the West Coast, who are all exploring spiritual direction and how to develop that. So can't think of a better person to bring into the mix for our Metanoias this year than Jared. Really excited for you to meet him. Give him a Google if you want to find out more about him. Jared Boyd. People, think again.
Oh, David. We love him, don't we? Well, now seems as good as time as any to tell you about what we're calling the third space, which is after the evening gatherings, we're going to have an open, vibey space with music, and you can chill and chat and eat and just be. Another important thing to note is the dates. And all of the information is available on our specially crafted website, vineyardmetanoia.ca. So we're excited, and we hope to see you there.